The clang of iron echoed through the empty weight room as Ethan Miller pressed the barbell back into the rack. His arms trembled, chest burning with the last of his energy. At 17, Ethan wasn't the biggest guy on his high school's varsity team, but he had drive. The gym had become his second home, a place where he could grind, sweat, and pretend, if only for a while, that he was in control of everything in his life. It was late, almost 10 on a frigid Sunday in January. Outside the windows of Cedar Falls Athletic Center, snowflakes whirled under the parking lot lights. Most of the town was shut down for the night. Restaurants closed, shops dark, the streets practically deserted. Ethan grabbed his water bottle and hoodie from the bench, pulling the fabric over his damp t-shirt. His reflection in the glass wall looked older than he felt. Tired eyes, messy brown hair plastered to his forehead. He slung his gym bag over his shoulder and headed for the exit. The air outside slapped him instantly. His breath puffed in clouds as he walked toward the bus, stop at the corner of Main and Willow. Normally, his mom would pick him up, but tonight, both of his parents were at a dinner party across town. Uber was an option, but Ethan had been saving every dime from his part-time job at a diner. Bus fare cost pocket change. Uber cost half a shift. He jogged toward the shelter, sneakers crunching over salted sidewalks. By the time he got there, the glowing digital sign above the bench read, "Next bus, 58 minutes. Damn it, Ethan muttered. He'd just missed the 9:45. The shelter wasn't much. Glass walls streaked with frost, a metal bench, a flickering fluorescent light overhead. He sat, dropped his bag beside him, and pulled out his phone. Music filled his ears as he scrolled through Spotify. The silence of the town melted away under the steady beat of a playlist. Minutes dragged. His legs bounced from nerves and cold. Snow began to pepper the sidewalk in thicker flakes, gathering in drifts at the curb. He pulled his hoodie tighter, rubbing his gloved hands together. Half an hour passed. No headlights, no bus. He checked the transit app. Same message as before, delayed due to weather conditions. The longer he sat, the stranger the night felt. Cedar Falls wasn't a dangerous town, but there was something eerie about being completely alone, surrounded by glass, with nothing but the wind whistling across empty streets. That eerie silence didn't last. From the corner of his eye, Ethan noticed movement. At first, it was just a shadow drifting across the snow, but then it solidified into a shape, a man walking slowly down the sidewalk toward the shelter. Ethan's stomach tightened. His thumb hovered over his phone screen as he tried not to stare. The man was bundled in layers of clothing, a bulky coat, scarf, and a knit cap pulled low over his forehead. His gait was uneven, his steps dragging like he was either drunk or exhausted. Even from a distance, something about him felt off. Ethan lowered his music but kept one earbud in. His pulse thudded in his ears. The man entered the shelter and sat at the far end of the bench. Up close, he looked about mid-40s, with a scruffy beard and bloodshot eyes that had a glossy sheen. His hands trembled slightly as he rubbed them together. He turned toward Ethan. "When's the bus due?" Ethan slid an earbud out and forced a neutral tone. I think it's delayed. Snow's messing it up." The man just stared. His gaze lingered too long, heavy and unblinking. Then his lips moved again, but not toward Ethan, toward no one. "Right, Kyle, you're coming back. They can't keep you from me." The mumbling was low, fragmented, but each word made Ethan's skin crawl. He looked back at his phone, pretending to scroll. His gut screamed at him to stay alert, but acting too defensive might draw attention. Minutes crawled, the man muttered under his breath, occasionally glancing at Ethan with that same unsettling intensity. The longer it went on, the smaller the shelter felt. Finally, Ethan decided to risk a look. The man had moved closer. Not much, just a slow slide across the bench, but close enough that Ethan could smell him now. A mix of alcohol, sweat, and something chemical. Ethan's hand tightened around his phone. You okay there?" The man's eyes flicked up. His lips pulled into a crooked grin, and his hand lifted, slow, deliberate, reaching toward Ethan's shoulder. Ethan's body reacted before his brain. He snatched his bag, leapt to his feet, and bolted out into the snow. Behind him came the sound of a heavy fall, flesh and bone hitting concrete. Ethan didn't stop to look. He ran down the street, lungs burning, sneakers sliding on ice. The world blurred into snow and shadows as one thought thundered in his head. Next stop, just get to the next stop. Ethan's lungs burned as he skidded into the glow of the next bus shelter. Snowflakes clung to his hoodie, his breath misting in frantic bursts. He stumbled inside, threw his bag onto the bench, and leaned against the cold glass wall, trying to slow his heartbeat. The street behind him was empty. No footsteps, no shuffling figure, no sign of the man. Maybe he'd fallen too hard to get back up. Maybe he was too drunk to follow. Ethan exhaled shakily, pulling his phone back out. His hands trembled as he opened his messages. He hovered over Noah's contact. Should I call? It felt stupid. Noah lived across town. What could he even do? Still, the thought of another human voice was comforting. Instead, Ethan sat down, clutching his bag tight, and stared at the snow. The minutes ticked by. His pulse began to settle. Then came the sound. Knock, knock, knock. Sharp, deliberate taps on the glass behind his head. Ethan jolted upright, nearly dropping his phone. His stomach plummeted. Slowly, dreading what he already knew, he turned. The man's face was pressed against the glass. His eyes were wide, feverish, unblinking. His breath fogged the pain as he grinned. Yellow teeth bared in something between a smile and a snarl. Ethan's heart lurched into his throat. What the hell is wrong with you? The man didn't answer. He just stared, knocking again. 4 quick raps, then stillness. Ethan stumbled back, gripping his phone like it was a weapon. His chest rose and fell in shallow gasps. The man disappeared from the window. Silence swallowed the night. Ethan spun, scanning every side of the shelter. Nothing, no sound except the whistle of wind through the trees. Then he heard it, the crunch of boots in snow. The man reappeared on the other side, dragging a hand along the glass as he circled, his nails screeching faintly. His eyes never left Ethan's. You need to stay back. Ethan's voice cracked with panic. He lifted his phone. I'll call the cops, I swear to God. The man tilted his head like a broken doll. His lips moved, muffled through the glass. You're not leaving me again. Ethan's stomach twisted into knots. Not leaving me again? The man rounded the shelter. His boots thudded against the concrete as he approached the open side. Ethan backed up until his legs hit the bench. His hand shook so badly he nearly dropped the phone. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. The man lunged. Ethan dove sideways at the last second. The man's body crashed down hard, face smacking the floor with a sickening crack. Blood smeared across the glass. For a moment, everything froze. Ethan pressed against the far wall, eyes wide, chest heaving. The man lay motionless, limbs twisted unnaturally, blood dripping onto the icy ground. Ethan's phone slipped from his shaking grip. He scrambled to pick it up, fumbling with the screen. His thumb finally hit the numbers 911. The call rang once before a calm female voice answered. 911, what's your emergency? Words tumbled out in a rush. I'm at the bus stop on Willow Avenue. Near Maine, there's this guy. He followed me. He attacked me, and then he fell. He's bleeding. I think he's unconscious. Please send someone fast. Okay, sir, take a deep breath, the operator said evenly. Is the man breathing? Ethan glanced. The man's chest rose and fell shallowly, erratic. Yeah, barely. Good, do not approach him again. Stay on the line. Police and paramedics are on their way. What's your name? Ethan. Ethan Miller. All right, Ethan, stay calm. You're not alone. Help will be there soon. But Ethan didn't feel calm. Not when the man shifted slightly, groaning, blood smearing his face. Not when his half-lidded eyes opened just enough to find Ethan again. And not when his lips twitched into that same crooked grin. Bloodied, broken, but still grinning. Ethan pressed back into the glass, every nerve screaming. The shelter felt like a trap, closing tighter around him with every passing second.